Yes, Maya, you can just let them know about the view. I think Katie mentioned there is like the speaker view or gallery view. It doesn't matter which one they use, but they can use the speaker view so they can see all three of us.
Oh, okay. Does that work specifically for, I'm just not sure about webinars because I think that they just see all three of us at the top of
Oh, do they?
the screen all the time. Yeah, because I'm thinking back to the ones that we've had before. Usually it will just show the panelists, all however many of them, just right at the top. So I don't think that they have to change
Okay.
between speaker and gallery view.
We've always like ask them like if anyone's having issue, please type it in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me know when we're live.
Hi, everybody. We're just going to do a quick sound check here. If you can hear me, can you write yes in the chat box? And if you can see us and see the screen, please check yes. Thank you, Allison and Patty and Joanne. Awesome. Nicole. Anybody having any trouble, please type in the chat box, help me. Hi.
Hi, everyone.
All right, so it's just 2 o'clock. We'll just give everybody another minute to hop on to the call here. In the meantime, if you haven't downloaded the worksheet, the opportunity to do that is in the confirmation email you were sent. But if you didn't get it, don't worry. Just grab a piece of paper and a pen so you can take some notes while we go through this. You're going to want to write down a few things so that you'll remember. All right, well, we are at 2:01 and we've only got an hour, so we're gonna get going. So welcome to today's class, Hacking Shoulder Pain While You're Stuck at Home. We really appreciate you coming out. We thank you for your time, and we're going to be offering some bonus gifts at the end of the webinar, so make sure you stick around for that. My name is Katie White. I'm the owner of Courtney Massage Therapy, and I am a registered massage therapy. And this is going to be an exciting and interactive class. You're going to be watching, listening, moving, and sharing throughout the class. And you're going to learn 3 simple shoulder pain hacks to gain more understanding why your shoulder hurts and what you can do about it. You're going to have the opportunity to watch a pre-recorded video of a physiotherapist doing a virtual healthcare appointment. And you're going to have the opportunity to ask your most pressing questions. And if anyone is brave enough, we'll open up the mic. We'll get you on the mic and chatting with us. And so if you haven't got the worksheet downloaded, don't worry. Just grab a piece of paper and a pen so you can take some notes. And I'd like to introduce you to our presenters. We've got Lily Wu. You say hi, Lily.
Hi.
Lily is a physiotherapist, and I'm super excited. She's just joined the Courtney Massage Therapy team as a virtual physiotherapist. We're absolutely thrilled to have her. She's been practicing for 8 years, and she's had lots of success helping people reduce pain, gain mobility, and understand their injuries. So welcome, Lily. Our second presenter is Maya Sison. She has just completed her 2nd year of the kinesiology program at UBC. So congratulations, Maya. That's something to be proud about. And she is decided that she's going to pursue a career as a physiotherapist since she has started her mentorship with Lily. So welcome, Maya.
Thank you.
Thanks so much to both of you for being here. Maya's just going to take over and do a few Zoom housekeeping tips to keep this webinar going. And I'll hand it over to you, Maya.
Awesome. Okay, so for everyone, we have a tool of buttons at the bottom of your screen. Everyone's currently unmuted, so there will actually be a portion of this workshop where we're going to unmute someone, and that button can be found in the left bottom corner, and we'll probably go over this once we're unmuting someone. But basically, you can type all your questions in the chat, and we'll have a point throughout the workshop where we'll be able to answer these questions. So the chat bar can also be used to answer your guys' questions. So make sure that if you have any, just type them in the chat. And there will also be a lot of points throughout the PowerPoint where we'll ask for you guys' input, or we want to hear back from you. So feel free to use that chat. And if you have any questions or concerns, please let us know there. The last thing is basically that there's a drop-down menu where we can see all the attendees. So just make sure we have those answers. On to you, Lily. I think that's everything on my part.
Okay, so we're gonna start off doing a little bit of interaction. Let me see if I can go to the next slide. So we're gonna do some quick questions, and if you guys can type it in the chat. If you had no shoulder pain, what would you be doing right now? So what is your shoulder pain inhibiting you from doing? What types of activities can you not do right now because of your shoulder pain? Just type it in the chat, and then we'll kind of take a quick look at it and see what most people are restricted from doing.
So some of the things I see that people can't do, yeah, sleeping through the night, sometimes laying on that shoulder.
Yoga stretches, work above the head, strength training, looks like typical day-to-day things. So you're swimming, yoga, taking off your sports bra, doing up your seatbelt, sleeping, finishing the cleaning linen closet, upper body weights, sleep is another common one.
Yeah, for sure. So with shoulder pain, sleep can definitely be inhibited, as well as a lot of active activities. So we'll dive more into that, and then we'll go to the next question. What's the most frustrating thing about your shoulder pain right now? Just type it in the chat. What do you feel is the most frustrating thing with your shoulders?
Constant. That's a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, it can be very exhausting to have shoulder pain because it seems to be prevalent in every activity of daily life.
Limits exercise, sleep pain, comes and goes, chronic. Not sure if I should try to stretch in case there's an injury. So it looks like uncertainty or ache, pain, raising the arm, lack of strength, knowing it's not as strong as it could be. Lack of strength is a really common one.
Okay, so yeah, that's like very common in a lot of patients that we see. Like a lot of the concerns that you guys have brought up are what most patients tell us too. So we'll definitely go through more of that. And then the last question is, with your shoulder pain, on a pain scale being from 0 to 10, 0 being no pain at all, and 10 being the most excruciating pain that you've ever felt, what is your number of your pain level of your shoulder right now? So
4, 5, 3, 2, 3, 3 to 4. 0 for the most part, but when you can stretch, you can hit an 8, 9, 5. So it looks like we got a large variety of pain for sure.
Yeah, we have a pretty very diverse range. So you know, some of the tests that we're going to do later, it may aggravate some of that. So we'll give some disclaimers later and how to kind of, depending on the level of pain you feel, then we have to kind of be a little bit careful with some of the testing. So we kind of summarize the results. Who wants to go on the mic just to share a little bit about their shoulder pain, so we can kind of dive a little bit more into one of the participants' shoulder pain? Does anyone want to volunteer to kind of speak about their shoulder pain, and so we can kind of ask them initial questions and find out more? You can just type in the chat if you want to be unmuted and go on mic. It's your first chance to share.
Brian says sure.
Okay, so we'll try to unmute Brian. So you can, Brian, on your screen, if you can press unmute the mic.
We can put I can put on allowed to talk to you here.
Oh, perfect.
There we go.
Hi,
Here's Brian.
Brian.
And Brian,
Hello.
oh, there he goes.
Yep,
You can hear us,
I'm
right?
here.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
How long have you had your shoulder pain for?
I've had it for probably 5 months.
5 months, okay. And do you recollect what happened? Like what caused it initially, or like when did it start?
No idea. It just, I didn't even think much about it when it first started happening,
Mm-hmm.
but you know, I figured it would go away the next morning, right? It's still here.
It's still here. And has it progressively gone worse, or has it stayed about the same?
It sort of flares every now and then. Right now, it's actually the best it's been in a couple of months.
Oh, great. And
Yeah,
you,
but last week it wasn't.
so it's kind of going through a bit of a cycle.
Yeah.
Okay. What type of, are you still working right now?
I'm writing, so I'm sitting at the computer a lot.
Okay. So you're like, most of your activities is like being in front of the computer.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about a bit more about why shoulder pain happens, and a common condition is called the impingement syndrome, which we'll dive further into details in our next couple of slides. And posture has a lot to do with it. So I think maybe you'll find some answers to why your shoulder pain developed in the first place.
Good.
Yeah, so right now on the scale of 0 to 10, how much shoulder pain are you feeling?
It's about 2 or 3. It's really quite good right now, but it could flare up anytime. I could just go to put a plate away on the shelves and bang. Back.
So you say like kind of overhead activities is the most aggravating?
Yeah, anything above my shoulder.
Anything above your shoulder. And when you have to carry something, that's even worse, right?
Yes.
Okay, yes. You have the classic symptoms of the impingement, this condition. So once we go through the slides, you'll be able to identify kind of more of the symptoms that you're describing. And we'll be talking about the mechanics and the reasoning why. And there's definitely exercises we can show you so it can actually calm down that condition and actually make it disappear. That sounds
Great.
good?
Wonderful.
Awesome. Yes, so we'll go on. We'll take Brian off the mic, and then we'll go on to the next slide.
Thanks for being brave, Brian.
Yes. Thank you.
I love that picture of you, by the way.
Okay, so we'll go on to Maya, and then she'll show a little bit about the shoulder and then all the bone structure, and then I'll talk more about the conditions.
Okay, so thanks, Lily. This is mainly the shoulder anatomy. So what you're looking at is a picture of the shoulder girdle, which is mainly composed of 3 bones. It's the humerus, which is your upper arm bone, which can be seen kind of on the left here. And then you also have the scapula, and the collarbone, which is also called the clavicle. So the joint is able to move in numerous ways because it's a ball and socket joint, which is really, really similar to the hip. So it can move in circular directions, it can move forward and backwards and to the side. So then the most important muscles in the shoulder are the rotator cuff muscles, which are 4 main muscles that are found in the picture to the right. Their primary functions are to lift the arm up and to lift the arm on the side, and also to rotate the shoulder.
So I'm going to talk about further to Maya's explanation of kind of the anatomy. We're going to go over why certain conditions happen. And some of the most common injuries of the shoulder is rotator cuff tears. As you can see, there's a full tear there. There could be full tears, partial tears. And it just depends on how long the condition has been going on. The longer it's persists, then it can slowly, the constant grinding of the tendon in that kind of in the decreased space can cause a full tear. So we'll go through that. And then usually there is, on on some cases, there's initial trauma to cause this. So the initial trauma can be a fall, or like doing sport, repetitive sport, especially baseball, when you're constantly throwing and like using the shoulder, and then that constant strain can cause micro tears in the tendon. And then aging is because there's going to be like small osteophytes that developed under the bone, and these osteophytes can cause frays to the tendon that's coming underneath it. And I think Brian has alluded to posture, being on the computer. So when you're being on the computer, your shoulders are forward. So when your shoulder is forward, then that head of the humerus, the arm bone, can be causing, like it's kind of hiked up and forward. So it's pinching into that little space of the tendon that's trying to cross out. So that can also cause many strains on that tendon. And lastly, lifting. So if you're like lifting things overhead constantly, that repetitive motion can also cause the rotator cuff to be strained or torn. So some of the most common location that we usually see for rotator, because Maya had said there was 4 different rotator cuff muscles, but usually the most common one that we see that's torn or strained, it's called the supraspinatus tendon, and that's the tendon that comes out right here. You'll see this tendon, it comes out to the front. So that supraspinatus is the muscle that goes in the back of the shoulder blade, and then when it kind of starts from here and it attaches to the front. So that's the tendon and the rotator cuff that usually gets strained, because that's the one that's coming out to the front, and that's usually coming out underneath this narrow space. So when that happens, when that gets strained, there's going to be decreased space in between the tendon and the bone. So with that decreased space, it's going to cause friction and causes that tendon to swell. So when the tendon swells, whenever you're doing any overhead movement, the tendon swelling will cause an even more limited space in between that little opening. So when that happens, the space is already narrowed, and then you have the swollen tendon, so then there's really no more room. So when you're going overhead, it's causing that like sharp kind of pinchy pain that most people will describe. And that with the constant pinching, like over time, even when sleeping, if you're rolling onto that side, it can like cause that sharp pain or that kind of achy pain, because there's more like weight over that decreased space, and it's causing the swelling to increase even more. And so basically, in order to detect if patients have this, we have to go through several tests to find out if they actually have this symptom. But this symptom is seen in 80% of most shoulder pain. So this is one of the most common syndrome. We'll go on to the next screen. So some of the causes of shoulder pain, as we had talked about, is having a stiff neck. So when you're having a stiff neck, most people start, getting tight, upper shoulder muscles, and everything starts getting kind of elevated. So everything kind of like, you're walking with like tension on the top, and then you don't really want to move it because it's all stiff and tight and painful. So when that happens, it's kind of riding the shoulder joint upwards. And when that happens, this arm and the shoulder bone, it actually rides up into the tendon even more. So it causes more irritation. And then the second one is the lack of mobility in the shoulder. So as as this picture shows, the first picture shows that person has full mobility and their shoulder is able to actually go, go into full range of motion. But then the second picture, the shoulder blade is restricted. So you have like tightness in the shoulder blade muscles. So when that shoulder blade muscles can't rotate, it actually causes the rotation to these muscles, and the rotator cuff muscles causes the tendon to be tightening. So when you actually move, the tendon doesn't actually slide, it actually gets stuck in between that space. So the lack of shoulder mobility can also cause the tendon to flare up even more. And then lastly, as Brian had earlier said, being on the computer, having that forward shoulders, kind of a little bit of a forward head posture, can also cause tightness in the pec muscles, as well as in the rotator cuff and the neck. So all 3 different tight muscles can cause even more compression through that shoulder joint and causing the tendon to be squished even more. So we'll type in, kind of have everyone type in some of the most common symptoms that they're experiencing with their shoulder pain. So we can kind of like summarize some of the symptoms that people are feeling and seeing if it matches up with impingement syndrome. So feel free to go into your chat and just type in all the symptoms that you've been experiencing ever since you've had your shoulder pain. And then we'll give everyone a minute and then we'll summarize what people are experiencing.
Ache after working on the computer, mostly in the shoulder blade and radiates to the front. Sharp pains when lifting.
Okay.
Neck pain that travels all behind the shoulder blade. Pinching when we reach the certain positions and ache after use. Sometimes aches in the back too. Clicking, knots in the shoulder blades, really stiff neck. Sharp pains when sleeping. Pain along the side of the spine, along the scapula, more intense along the upper scap.
Okay, so yes, it's definitely a lot of the similar symptoms as what we put together under the impingement syndrome. So like the tightness that people were describing, the knots in the shoulder blade, the stiffness, limited mobility, you feel like you can't move the neck or the shoulder, that everything is like really tight and restricted. I don't know, there's also spasms. So when it gets really bad, like the body's trying to have a protective mechanism. So like the shoulder muscles may go into spasms, and you know, when you're going into a certain motion and it really doesn't like it, the muscle might just contract involuntarily, and that's very painful. Also, I think people have described like sleeping, you know, like having the pain during sleep earlier. So like unable to sleep on that particular side because you're putting that compression on the shoulder, unable to lift anything, any kind of any type of weights, because it's kind of putting weight through your shoulder when it's already impinged. So the shoulder doesn't like that. Difficulty with some of their activities, daily living, like brushing their teeth, brushing their hair. They find like they don't have as much endurance, so they get tired more easily. Irritability, so it gets really easily aggravated. So like, you know, like Brian said, like just putting up plates, it can just be irritable, like, you know, for, you know, hours after that. There could be shooting pain, as well as like, you know, headaches, other referred pain. I think people were saying like it's going to the neck, it's going down towards the shoulder blade. So those are referred pain. That's, you know, that there's pain in the front. It also refers to the back. And then some people may get some numbness and tingling as well, because with that decreased space, nerves are running through it. So sometimes with the tendon, it can actually pinch the shoulder nerve as well, which causes the numbness and tingling to go down all the way down to the fingertips when it gets really, really severe. Okay, so we're gonna go on to identify some of the root causes of your shoulder pain. So we're gonna do some testing. So now, if everyone has a little bit of space, you can do it sitting or standing, and we're going to demonstrate some of the tests to find out what type of impingement you have and how severe it is, and kind of like which muscles. So if everyone can, like, you know, on the side that their shoulder is painful, if people can just have their, like, pretend I have my left arm that's painful. So I'll try to have my arm out in front of me, 90 degrees. And then the other hand, which is not painful, I'm gonna have it over it. And then I'm just going to kind of like bring my forearm down, keeping the shoulder still up. See if that causes any pain. So you're like, you know, tipping at a 45-degree angle, like that. Then come back. Okay, and then on your sheet or on a piece of paper, just indicate number 1, whether that was painful or not. And if some people, if you can't even go like that high, 90 degrees, you can just have it lower and still do the test. It's just, may not be as accurate, but if it's too painful to go up to here, then you can go further down and just try to do the same thing. So that's the first test. So some of these tests may aggravate a bit of your shoulder. So if it does, these are the tests I was trying to figure out if you actually have an impinged shoulder. So if you're getting positive tests on the first test, then that's like the first one, but just be a little bit careful, go gentle, try not to push it too much. So for the second test, still pretend my left shoulder is the painful one. I'm gonna have my arms out like that. So kind of thumbs up at a 45-degree angle. So I'm not beside me, I'm not in front completely. I'm kind of at a slant, 45 degrees. And then I'm just gonna try to keep this shoulder up and use this hand, use my other hand. I'm just gonna push it down and try to keep the left arm from moving. So holding it up while my right hand is trying to push it down. Hold it there for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. And take note whether that was painful or not. So this is still part of the impingement test. This is part 2. That's called like the thumbs up or faux can test. And then we're gonna do the last test, which is similar. You're still gonna have your thumbs up in front of you at an angle. And then you are going to turn your thumbs down the angle and still gonna use the other hand. Try to not let the right hand move you. So your right hand's gonna push and you're gonna counter pressure or counter push it. So don't let it move. Hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3. And see if you report any pain with those. So if you report pain with 2 out of the 3 tests, then you're likely have the shoulder impingement syndrome. So especially the most aggravating test is the first one, and then the last one. The second one, some people may or may not get pain, but the first and third one are quite aggravating. So a lot of people with impingement usually have positive or some sort of pain or different sensation in that. They either feel tight or painful. Okay, so the second test, we're just gonna check your range of motion. So you're gonna have your hands in front of you, both shoulders, and see if you can go forward. See how your range of motion is, and then come down. And then see if you have any pain with that. And then you would, so for that, like for impingement, some people may get pain with that, some people may not. So that's not a very diagnostic test, but it's just to see if you can actually go forward or not. Because if the tendon is quite swollen, even doing this motion in the front, it may cause that pinching sensation. You may feel like you can't go all the way to the top, or you may feel that achy pain at the very top. So next, the third test, we're going to do a chin tuck while we do the same test. So we're trying to see if posture has something to do with that impingement. So if you try to tuck in your chin to make a double chin, and then when you make a double chin, you try to do that same test again, going forward. See if the test earlier was painful and now doing the chin tuck, if it slightly relieves it or makes it not as painful and you can go a little bit further, then that means that you have some neck involvement as well. So like the neck muscles are tight, which is causing your shoulder to curl forward more. So like if that's the case, then we have to work a bit on the neck as well, in addition to the shoulders. So if that third test, the chin tuck, actually made a difference with bringing your arms up compared to the earlier test, then we have to actually look at the neck. So number 4, the rotator cuff tear test. So if for this one you're actually going like this, those thumbs down, and then so this is my painful arm, and then you're trying to go up like this. So if that test, if you start feeling extreme pain with that, then you might have like a full tear on your rotator cuff. So that's more of a differential test for like a full tear. But if you don't have like severe pain, like kind of like severe pain would be like between 8 to 10 out of 10 pain. That would be quite severe pain. If you have that, then it might be a good idea to get some diagnostic tests, like diagnostic imaging on the rotator cuff. And then the 5th one is a very common one. It's the painful arc test. So it's just having your hands on the side, palms facing forward, and then you're just kind of making a snow angel, going to the side and just noticing if you have any pain at any point in that arc when you're making that snow angel. And then coming down nice and slow. Seeing it, sometimes people get pain with impingement syndrome. They get pain between this range, kind of in the middle. So coming down is okay, but it's that kind of in between from here to here, some people might feel pain. So that is when the shoulder joint and the top, the roof and the tendon all kind of gets into a tighter space. So when there's impingement, then that's when they feel it during this painful arc test. So hopefully some of you took notes of which tests you may have had impingement. Does people want to put in the chat, like, did any of the tests cause pain? Just share some of the results on their chat. So here are all the tests, like we did the first one. Did some people get pain with any of the tests? You can just share it in the chat. Okay, yeah, Brian said in test 1. Okay, no pain here. Part 1 and 5. Okay. Yeah, it looks like most of the participants who answered expressed positive results with, like, pain on the first test, impingement test, and then notice yeah, and then some participants said yeah, so like 3, some people said like with the chin tuck it helped a little bit. So it seemed like, with a lot of participants, there seems to be some shoulder involvement as well as some neck involvement as well. And then level 3 level, yeah, a lot of people express yeah, uncomfortable pressure is a positive sign. Yeah, it may not be painful, but that uncomfortable pressure means that there's still a bit of tension in that tendon. Oh, okay. Someone noted that the chin tuck made it worse. So
she also tested positive for number 4 too, Lily.
Sorry, who?
Joanne, she said number 3, the chin tuck made it worse, and she said 4 was painful for her as well.
Yeah, so with with the chin tuck, if like 4 was painful, then that means like when there's a potential tear, like a fuller kind of like a fuller thickness tear with chin tuck, when you're doing that, it actually pushes the scapula back a bit. So when that happens, it can actually it can cause discomfort in the tear. So like with that, because the chin tuck, you're trying to align your posture and the body's trying to get into a protective mechanism. Everything's tightening to protect that tear. So the neck muscles, the traps, the levator, like all these muscles are tightening and going forward to protect that tear. And when you do the chin tuck, you're trying to stretch out those muscles when you're stretching it, and those muscles are used to kind of guard it and act as kind of like a glove against the tear, then it can cause pain too. So those two together indicates a more definitive kind of like kind of towards like a bigger thickness tear on the shoulders. So those kind of go hand in hand. Okay, so yes, and then we're gonna go to the next slide, and then we will definitely go through some good hacks in the next couple of slides to show you how to actually help kind of decrease the pain, decrease the the positive symptoms that you guys are feeling with some of these tests. So there's with impingement, it's one of the most common seen shoulder condition, and it's one of the conditions that can be treated with physiotherapy and with proper exercises. So there's definitely hope with that. So we're gonna go through a demo video kind of the test again of a patient that we've been seeing for a while with her shoulder impingement. So in this next video, we're gonna go through me demonstrating the test, and then the patient's gonna report what she's finding with when she's demoing it. Okay, so we're gonna watch them here. The first test we're gonna do is have your arms like this. Okay. Yeah. And then you can use this hand and then try to like bring it down.
Okay.
Is there any pain in the shoulder?
A little bit.
Yeah. Okay, and then come back up and then do the other side.
Okay.
Any pain there?
Not really. It's just mild, very, yeah.
Mild, but more on the left side.
More on the left side, yeah.
Okay, and then we're gonna have your arms like this way.
Okay.
Then this hand, you can push it down.
Okay.
Push on the wrist. So push up.
Okay.
Yeah, so push near your forearm, and then try to don't let your hand push down. So just push up. So resist.
Okay.
Any pain there?
Yeah, I have some pain on my up to here.
Up to
I
there?
can feel some pain. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
If you go down like this, if you turn it thumbs down and then push. Any pain there? More than what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still feel some pain. Yeah.
By this side,
Okay.
and then push. Any pain there?
Not really. No.
And this side, thumbs down, and then push. Any pain
Yeah.
there?
Little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Turn down. Okay.
Yeah.
Try to bring your arms by the side and go like this. And come down. Okay, good. No, any pain going during this?
Just my left shoulder is still
To the left
pain.
side.
Yeah.
Come down. Okay, good. Okay. So we will go back to our slides. Give me one sec. Okay. Go. Okay, so we will go through. You watched the video of kind of like one of our patient that was getting the shoulder impingement. So we showed her demonstrating some of those tests. And then now we're going to show you. So I think we had that already. Okay, this. Okay, we're just going to do one diagnostic test. We're just going to do the snow angel one, the painful arc one. So everyone just do this one again right before our exercise. Kind of like a snow angel. And come down and just keep a note of how your pain feels like out of 10. And then we're gonna go through our next set of exercises to see after the exercise, we're gonna reevaluate your pain again. So the shoulder raises. So what you can do right now, you can use weights, but for now you don't have to use weights. Just kind of hands by your side and then thumbs up. And then you're just going to bring your shoulders back. And then you're gonna raise your shoulders like a V, kind of going up like that. And then drop your shoulders and then come down really slow, trying to bring your shoulders back and down, counting to 10 seconds. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're gonna do 5 of those right now. So we're gonna just bring your shoulders back, squeeze between the shoulder blades, and then just bring it up, kind of like in a diagonal manner. And then drop your shoulders, keeping the elbows straight, and just come down slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then relax the shoulders. And then we'll do the third one. So if you start feeling pain, even going up to all the way, you don't have to go all the way up. You just go to whatever point you feel comfortable and then just stay there and then come down with us in 10 seconds. So go up, so up. This is the third one. And then drop your shoulders and then come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, 2 more. So we're gonna draw the shoulder blades together. So squeeze between the shoulder blades. And then come up. And then drop your shoulders. And then try to keep squeezing the shoulder blades. Come down slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then relax. And then we'll do 1 more. Shoulder blade squeeze. And then go up. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then relax. Okay, that looks good. So we'll go to the next hack. So the next hack is external rotation. So it's if some of you have like an exercise band, you can use an exercise band. For most of you that don't, you don't need to use a band. We can do this exercise without the band, but I'm just going to demonstrate it with the band. You're going to still try to squeeze between the shoulder blades. If you don't have a band, I'll just demonstrate it with and without the band. So just keep the elbows tucked in. Don't let the elbows go away from you. And then just pull if you have a band. If not, don't have a band, just go like this. Squeeze between your shoulder blades and then come back. 1, 2. Keep squeezing your shoulder blades. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do 4 more. So squeeze between the shoulder blades and then pull, keeping the shoulders tucked, elbows tucked into your body. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then do 3 more. So if I had the band, I'm going to do the next 3 with the band. So pull it out. So hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3, and then the main thing is coming back slow. So squeezing between the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 2 more. Squeeze. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and last one. Pull. Squeeze between the shoulder blades. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's the second exercise. And you can, let's see. And then we'll do the last one. The last one, if you guys, you can always, like right now, you don't have to use any weights. I'm going to demonstrate it with weights. But at home, you can use like wine bottles. You can use canned soup, shampoo bottles, just anything that's like, a little bit heavier. But if you have more than 5 out of 10 pain on a normal basis, then you try doing it without weights first. So I'm going to demonstrate it with weights, but for those that are following, you don't have to use any weights. So kind of have your arms out, not beside you, but just slightly forward. So you're going to go like this, and then you're going to bring it up. Your neck is going to look up, and then you're going to come down slow. 1, 2, 3. And you're not coming down beside you. You're coming down kind of with your elbow pointing forward a little. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you feel pain, like even going up to here, just go up to wherever you feel pain and don't go beyond that. So if you have pain here, just go down from that point. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll do 3 more. Go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. And 2 more. So you go up, looking up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 2 more. Up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 1 more. Go up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you might feel a little bit sore, kind of in the back, in here, which is okay. If you feel a little bit of like fatigue, a little bit of achiness there, that means that these muscles are working. That's where the rotator cuff muscle is. So we're trying to get these stronger so it can actually stabilize your shoulder. So it actually brings it brings the shoulder blade down so you're not getting that pinch as time goes on, as that gets stronger. So we are going to go over the demo patient who's going to demonstrate the exercise, and she's going to report the pain that she's feeling after the test. So we're going to demonstrate and play this for you guys.
So we're going to take our weights in our hands, and we're going to put it to our sides, and we're going to raise it 10 times, all the way overhead.
Try to keep the elbows straight. So come down like a V. And
4. And 5. 6. 7. And 8. And 9. and 10. Okay, so for the second one, we're going to go to our military press. So we're going to take our elbows, and we're going to keep it flat, and we're going to push all the way up. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and last one, 10. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's put our weights down here and let's grab our resistance band. So we're gonna take it in the middle. We're gonna pull and hold it for 5 seconds, okay? So ready, let's rotate and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And again, pull out. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to center. And again, pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and come back. 3, and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. 4, and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. 5, pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. 6, and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. 7, and pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. And pull. 2 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back to center. And last one. Pull. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back to center. Okay, awesome.
So we're gonna retest. Thing. We're gonna bring your arm out again like this.
Okay.
Just go gently. Just bring it down again. How does that feel? Did it feel a little bit better than before?
Yeah, a little bit better than before.
Good. Wanna try this side? How does this side feel?
Good.
Good? Okay. So I'm gonna do this one. The thumbs up, and then we're gonna push the hand down. How does that feel? Does it feel a little bit less pinchy?
A little bit less, yeah.
Good. And then this side. And then is this still a little bit sore?
A
Just a little.
little bit, yeah.
Okay, so it feels like it's better range than before. And this
Yeah.
side. Can you push? How's that feel?
It's okay.
It's okay. And then this side. Is this one still a little bit sore? Or not as bad as last before?
It's bad, yes.
Okay, so okay, so that was Ning. So all the participants, since we went over the exercises, why don't we just do a quick retest to see if any of our symptoms changed a little bit. So I'm just going to do, we'll just choose 2 of the tests, and we're just going to do a retest with 2 of the tests. So a lot of people express positive with the impingement test. It may not be as fast acting. So we'll see if certain patients did find that there was a little bit of a difference, or it kind of got a bit better. So we'll kind of get a gauge from the participants after the exercises, how they feel with the test. So the same side that you're sore, the shoulder that's sore, we're going to do the impingement test. So we're going to have the arms out like this, and then the other hand kind of bringing it down to 45 degrees. See how that feels compared to the earlier time. So that was the first one, and then we're going to do this one, the thumbs down, and then just having the hand kind of bring it down and resist. Hold it for 3. 1, 2, 3. See if you felt any differences between previously, before we did the exercises, versus doing those 2 tests again. So if people notice a difference, just type yes. Notice a difference, just slightly less pain, or any kind of differences that you felt. If you felt a difference, just put yes on the chat. If you didn't really feel much of a difference, just press no. Good. So Allison. Okay, so some participant says yes. Okay, yeah, certain people said yes. There's a few people who said no. And then just taking a look. Yeah, some people felt like there was less pain, felt like a good stretch. So, okay. So we'll move on to the next slide. So we'll go over if people don't feel any improvements with the 3 hacks that we showed. We have more to kind of provide for the participants who either felt a little bit relief, didn't feel any relief. All the attendees today, they will get a free reducing shoulder pain ebook that will be sent to all the emails that have registered for the webinar. That's a nice thank you for attending our session today and having additional tips on what you can do with your shoulder pain. So kind of additional tips that we may not have had time to go over today. So it's a free ebook that you can download, and then we'll be sending that out shortly after this webinar. And then our second bonus is we're offering that within the next week, 7 days or so, we can arrange for a free one-on-one assessment and video treatment. And all you have to do is just give the office a call that's indicated on the screen, and you can get a free individualized assessment and video treatment, because some of the tips and some of the assessment that we talked about may be more general. So if there's specific things that we might have to tweak or tailor, we can do that in our one-on-one assessment and treatment. And it'll be done on, we'll give you the instructions once you give us a call on how to set that up, and we can do a video treatment. That's kind of similar today, where you'll be on the other side and then we can be talking and interacting.
Thank you so much for that, Lily. If anybody has any questions, you can feel free to type them into the chat. I think it's really a real common myth, and we've heard it on the call already today. People think that shoulder pain will go away on its own, and I can assure you that it probably won't. It will probably just get worse, and so it's a really great idea to seek out treatment for it. And my own personal story with shoulder pain, I woke up one day, intense shoulder pain, could not go to work. I got in to see a massage therapist that day. Within 45 minutes, she had my shoulder out of pain and moving again. And I was so impressed. I thought it was magic that I actually became a registered massage therapist. So it was actually the subscapularis muscle that changed my life. And I was so glad that I went in and had treatment, because in one treatment, the pain went away. So if you are thinking that you want to have an assessment, if you think you want some more individualized treatment, please take advantage of that bonus and give us a call. We'll get you in to see Lily, and she can have a look and give you some ideas for treatment. So it looks like Brian is going to book an appointment. I don't see any other questions on the chat.
Here, I have a question actually, Katie, that we can share, and I'm sure a lot of other participants will also be curious. The question of like when would I need to see a specialist, or when would I need to come and see a physiotherapist?
Okay. So usually we educate patients to, you know, have assessment with us first, so then we can kind of go through all the tests and find out how severe is the rotator cuff impingement or potential tear. And if during any of the tests, if we find, like, you know, with one of our like rotator cuff tear tests, that's just one of them. There's 3 other ones that we have to do in addition to that to kind of have a bigger, fuller picture. So if like 3 out of the 4 tests shows positive, then that's when we write a note to your family doctor to ask them to refer you to a specialist, so then you can get imaging done and kind of get a better answer of what's going on. So there needs to be more tests, and usually we recommend doing all the physical exams before, you know, you go seek your doctor for a specialist appointment.
And then I actually had one more too. For the participants, I think it would be really beneficial of talking about pain or like pain medications or anti-inflammatories and how that will fix, and if they're at home, if they should be using the heat or ice.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's very, very common. So with the anti-inflammatory, usually we say, like, for the first 7 days, like if they start, you know, when the onset of the pain starts, either from the trauma or just kind of in Brian's case where it just kind of happens spontaneously, the anti-inflammatory works the best in the first 7 days once the pain starts. And over time, as the pain signals in your brain gets more used to that pain, the anti-inflammatory doesn't work as effectively, but that doesn't mean that you should stop taking the anti-inflammatory. But like in our experience, we usually say the first 7 days, and then, you know, kind of on kind of as needed basis, so you're not relying on it. But that's kind of like the general case. But like if you're eating it like kind of like on more than 2 weeks and it hasn't really taken away the pain, then it's time to talk to the doctor to change up the pain medication, because there's different types of anti-inflammatory and your body may have got used to it, so you may need to change your medication. And in terms of the heat or ice, with this particular injury, for the first 3 days, so for the first 72 hours when this pain starts, it's actually best to use ice on this condition because it's a tendon. So tendon responds way better when it's swollen. If you imagine, you know, like a sprained ankle, everything is swollen, it's best to actually use ice on the shoulder for the first 3 days. And after that, it's actually good not to use any heat directly on the tendon. If you're feeling tightness in the back, in the rotator cuff muscle, you can use heat after the 3 days, like on the back and kind of on here, but like never really apply heat on the front of the shoulder, because the heat over time can cause more swelling on the tendon. So I tell people to kind of use intermittent ice, or also do contrast. So like, you know, heat it for a minute and then ice it for 20 seconds and then heat it again for a minute. So kind of like a three-step process. So heat, ice, heat, and then contrast it. But first, start using ice first.
And Susan had a question here too, and she said, I had a cortisone from an ortho doc about a couple months ago, which was helpful. What's your thoughts on cortisone in general?
So yes, cortisone over, if the physio assessment, the exercises over time doesn't really help with the pain, the cortisone injection can help with calming down that inflammation. So once the inflammation is calmed down, like once you have the shot, then it's actually best to do the exercises. So you actually create that space in between the original that original mechanism that caused the impingement or the inflammation in the first place. So the cortisone injection, I've worked with a lot of sport medicine doctors, and they say their injection is to kind of like calm down the symptoms, but it's still really important to do the rehab exercises so then the condition doesn't come back. So the injection is to calm everything down, but on some people it may or may not fix the problem, because it could be just a biomechanical problem. So the injection is just calming down that swelling in the tendon, but it may not be the complete fix. So it still helps in, I would say, like 80% of the patients that we see, like when they get to that stage where they need the cortisone injection, it does help take away a lot of that pain and improve their range of motion. Any more questions?
Yeah, Susan asks, she said, thank you. I shall continue exercise exercises and the ones I learned before. Oh, so it wasn't a question, it was a comment.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah. Continue with the exercises because once you have the impingement, because like the muscle is weak, you know, you do need to keep strengthening it, kind of like on the maintenance schedule until like things settle down, and then after that, you can just maybe do it once a week or once every 2 weeks just to maintain some of that strength.
Awesome. Well, if there's no other questions, we're just about at 3 o'clock, so we don't want to take up any more of your time today. So I'd like to thank all the attendees for coming. We really appreciate you coming, and we'll be sending out those bonus gifts. And special thanks to Lily and Maya for coming in on a Saturday afternoon and presenting this webinar. It's been great. Thank you so much, ladies.
No worries.
Oh.
Well, thank you for all the participants for spending your sunny Saturday afternoon with us. And yes, we look forward to chatting with some of you who want to take advantage of our bonus offer of checking in with us through the video assessment.
Yep, you can give the office a call, 250-897-0069. You can email us, info@CourtneyMassageTherapy or info@CourtneyMassageTherapy.com, and we'll be happy to chat with you more about shoulder pain and how to get better.
And then just keep watch of the emails. We might be doing upcoming webinars on different topics as well.
Yeah, we definitely will be doing that. All right, take care, everybody.
Yep.
Enjoy the weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Did that work?
Okay, I took everyone out there.
Huh?
I ended it on their side so that they could.
Oh, did it go into each one?
Yeah, I just went into each one and I just said remove because there was just people that were hanging around. So I was like, okay, bye.
Yeah, I don't know how to actually like, because I know when I attend webinars, there's like when it's like end like.
Yeah, and it's done.
Yeah, but I thought there was like.
You guys probably wanted to talk, so at least like.
Oh, that's
just
why.
removed them. I was like, okay.
And then how do you stop recording, Maya? Because then here we can just recording could just press
Who
stop.
started recording?
Huh?
Who is did it just automatically start recording? Oh, here.
Because it says recording.
Okay, stop recording.